Hello traders and welcome to our market update video. It's Tunapan here, founder of Master the Markets Elite Trades Conference and the Traders Open Day. So here we are today on the 19th of June. We've got two positions running so far, unrealized profit on Brent oil and on dollar yen. That is basically based, one is on cash in and the other one is basically on reversals and continuation patterns. Right. I think today's topic, what I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is very helpful and useful, is primary turning points. Okay? Primary turning points. Right. Now, first of all, before we look at how we collate the research for that, you have to first understand what is a primary pattern. Now, a primary pattern, let's say in a long position over here, so basically you got the market falling. At some point it might confirm the high, and when it confirms that with the dot what we have over here, which is particularly useful for research purposes, then you get let's say it can be a green bar or red bar, it really doesn't matter, but most importantly the high of that bar gets taken out by another bar. Now this pattern is what we call this bar's high, taking out this bar's high and creating a higher high. That is what we call a primary bar pattern, okay? Or we can call it a primary turning point. For now, we'll just call it a primary bar pattern, okay? Right. Now, in terms of a short position, so this is to go long, because think about it, in terms of vertical bar prices, how else price can go up without taking the previous bar's high, okay? Right. Remember also here, I just want to reiterate that this bar here doesn't necessarily need to be a green bar. It can also be a red bar too, right? As long as this bar takes out the previous bar's high, that's a primary bar pattern. Now for a short pattern, what we're looking for is the opposite, where it's going further up. At some point, it confirms here the bottom, and then we've got a primary which takes out the low, previous bar's low. That's called a primary bar turning point. So that's for a short, that's for a long. Okay? Right, so now I've explained what is a primary. Now we move on to some questions that we can ask to apply this knowledge. Okay? The first question we can ask ourselves is, how many of these primary bar patterns, how many of these primary bar patterns go on to confirm the top or the bottom? So for example, like what I said over here, so here we've got a primary, and then at that point we got it turning around like this, took out the high. How many of those primary bar patterns where you enter on the close, entry on the close, goes on to confirm that bottom or confirm the top for going a short? Okay, so first of all, we need to collect a total sample of primaries first, isn't it, traders? So total primaries first we need to consolidate, and then after that we need to see how many of those primaries go on to confirm the bottom or the top. Remember here, total number of primaries is going to be all the same as the primaries that we entry on close, because entry on close means you're taking every primary basically. Yeah? Okay, good. So that's what I've highlighted here as the blue rectangles. So here, all the blue rectangles are all the primaries. 1, 2, all these blue rectangles are all the primaries. Look, the primary here, primary for going short, primary for going long, right? Primary for going long here, primary for going short. Some of them I might not have included, like for here, right? This turning point is not included because it's an IB setup. It's not a primary, is it? Yeah. So I've not included all of that. So the blue rectangles are all your primary setups. Okay, so those are the total number of primaries first. Okay, and remember, total number of primary setups will equal into total number of primaries that we enter onto close as well. So that's what this table is about. Primary entry on close that confirm. So total number of primaries and total number of primaries that we enter on close will be the same in this example, in this data collation. So over here, we can see that only for 1st Jan to 2020 so far, 19th of June, I've consolidated this so far on GBP USD to dollar yen. You can do it on any instrument, gold, Brent oil, or anything. That's your homework to do if you want to carry on with the research. Now, here you can see total number of primaries that we have entered on close. And then you can see the primaries that confirm. Okay? And you can see the percentage here. On cable so far, on the simple small sample size is 91%. So euro dollar you carry on 80%, dollar Swiss 91%, Aussie dollar only 58.33%, dollar yen is only 50%. So out of all the small sample we've collected, 63 primaries that you enter on close, how many of them go on to confirm? 47. That is about 74.60%. Okay, overall on the small sample size. You can even program this, you can even go and find out the data as well. Now, there are different ways of also entry. You cannot, no need to enter on close all the time. You can also enter on the high and low of the primary. So for example, if you get, for example, something like this, and finally you get a primary. And once you get the primary, you're entering on the high, okay, to go long, or you enter on the low if it's going short. Okay, so for example, if you're going short, then it would be something like this. Okay, so you enter on the low. All right, so and then you find the percentage reliability again on how many of them go on to confirm. Another way that you can also do it is we can use an adaptable entry. I will let you go and research on that as well. Now, the next thing is that primary entry on close that confirm after the first interruption. Now you got to go and define what is a first interruption to. That's a filter that we are using. And primary entry on high and low that confirm after the first interruption to. Then you can compare all these results on a summary table like this and see whether your filters are improving your reliability or not, and across how many instruments as well. Okay. Right, so this is a simple way of first looking at it and then designing your strategies after that methodologically and systematically. How can you apply all of this? Very simply, one of the ways that you can apply that is by seeing firstly on primary entry on close over here. You can then see how many of them go on to confirm. So you can enter basically just on a close on a primary, and then you can just exit. One of the ways you can exit is where once it confirms the bottom, or you can let it run for a little bit more. If you want to let it run a little bit more, our previous video on applying open equity with time parameters will help you. Okay, that's one application. So one way you can apply this to profit is one exit just on confirmation. Or if you want to let it run a little bit, the video on open equity with time parameters will help you on exit. Or the third way, you can also combine with intraday entries, which you can refer to our opening range breakout video to improve your entries and improve also your profit potentials of your trade setups. Okay. So these 3 videos with primary turning points and application towards exit on confirmation or on open equity with time parameters on our previous video, or on our opening range breakout on entry possibilities. If you research into these 3-4 videos and design your strategies based on that, you will start to see your research becoming very profitable and your strategies becoming highly profitable with good, clear, valid statistics too. All right. Now we do all of that on our live trading room too. We do those kind of strategies, which has been research backed and fully transparent as well. Okay. Right. So that's on the primary turning points for today. So far what I've done is I've explained to you what a primary is. Okay. Then what a primary turning point is. I've also given you example on how to data collate too, right? On collate the data. And then on the last part is the application. Okay. So collation of data, and then we have seen the application as well. So that's what I've given you so far. Okay, good. Now let's move on to our market update today. So market update so far, let's see market watch, let that load up, and we'll take a look at all the different markets for today and how they are doing just on a general basis. Dollar Swiss, still consolidation, bottom has not been confirmed so far, still on a downtrend. Open equity, I would say, has diminished to the bottom, probably higher turning point to the top. Dollar yen still stuck here, still not turning around, primary turning point here. Let's see if it takes out this bottom here. I would say open equity still a little bit more left to the bottom side. Cable on the other side, you can see it's in an uptrend. We can see this to be turning any more to the upside, open equity diminishing to the bottom. Here you can see it's still up, open equity diminishing to the bottom. It's still stalling around here. I would say it's a high possibility of a turning point occurring. Aussie dollar, uptrend over here as well. You can see over here that we can see. We can see that the top hasn't been confirmed. Open equity definitely diminishing to the top side, so I will see if it goes to the bottom. Euro yen, you can see open equity diminishing to the bottom, so probably turning point occurring very soon to continue with its uptrend. Bitcoin, still stalling, still not moving towards its 10,000 point level, consolidating over this channel. Where's the open equity towards? Open equity diminishing towards the bottom side. I would see this to be probably turning very soon. In terms of oil, on the other hand, we can see that open equity still towards the upside, so more momentum towards the upside. Over here, gold still downtrend. Open equity, I would say, is diminishing to the upside, maybe a little bit more to the upside before we see a turning around again. FTSE uptrend still, bottom to be confirmed. Let's see, bottom will probably highly be confirmed. Dow Jones, open equity diminishing to the bottom, it will probably highly go towards its up momentum again. S&P similar, up momentum again. Open equity more to the upside. Soybeans, open equity diminishing to the top, highly probably a turning point occurring. And wheat is still going on to the downside. Open equity will probably be diminishing. At some point you can look for a turning point, but still see momentum probably for now going to the downside for some time. Alright, okay, I guess that's pretty much that on the market update over here on different markets and everything. How do we perform for this week? Elite room so far, smart money. We've got a small hit on that, so minus 1% on that. Then we have our GB Elite, which is minus 1% on cable, what we got. However, for prime profits, we had a nice good profit of 1.28%. So overall, what did we have? We had minus 0.72% so far, okay, in terms of the elite room. Now, in terms of the live trading room, what did we have so far? Let me just put that up. So in terms of MB 2.0, so we can see over here, we had for this week so far, let me just move it to the left. For this week so far, 18 June, euro dollar, we caught the top successfully. We had 1.14% up, MB 2.0. And in terms of GB Live, we had minus 1%. So overall on LTR, we made 0.14%, 0.14% over here. And in terms of the Elite Room, minus 0.72%. So overall, if once you add that up together, we have minus small loss of minus 0.58% so far. Okay, so that's what we do have in terms of our performance, and you have some really good knowledge for today too on terms of primary turning points. I would definitely tell you all to reflect and assimilate the knowledge and put it forward to your strategies. All right. In fact, just going forward, just one point I want you all to take is always keep your losses very small, and so that the upside will look after itself and the large profits will then override the losses. Alright, that's all from me for now, and as we always say, till next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.